anxiety. So the next time when we do meditation, I want you to think about the stress that you have in the school, at home. Want to think about the stress and recognize it. Okay, this is the stress. This is the stress. A polar bear experiences stress when it's hungry. Also experiences stress when it sees another polar bear it doesn't know, unfriendly one. So in your life, of course, when you are with your friends, you will feel comfortable and you will feel secure. But when you're with strangers, you feel some tension until you get to know them. Until you get to know them. So, think about we call it the source of stress. Source of stress, okay? Note this one down. Source of stress is the title. Source of stress. And now I want you to discuss with the people next to you, what are the sources of stress in your life? Is it homework? Is it what? Okay. Okay, we take 3 minutes. Source of stress. You discuss with the person next to you, you too, and you discuss and then you note down. Okay, you discuss and you write. Sources of stress. When do you experience stress? Yeah. You discuss with each other, talk to each other first. Talk to each other first. Like a sports competition, like homework, like exam. Just talk to your friend. And at home, you can write down your name and also the date. Okay, just to make sure that's yours. So, I talk to you now. What do you think are the source of your stress?
School test.
School tests.
homework.
And homework.
Yeah,
Okay.
grades.
And
And like grades, like my parents always say that I should get an A and stuff.
there's pressure from your parents.
Yeah. Oh no, never mind.
Okay. What about you? What did you discuss? What are the sources? Tell me what are the sources of your stress? When do you experience stress? Is this somebody says school test to feel stressed out when you have to do a test? Not much. When do you experience stress?
By school. School.
Yeah, school. Being in the school. When do you experience stress? Not so much.
Not so much.
Not so much. Good. What about you, girls?
When I was on the stage,
When you okay?
singing,
Oh, singing on the stage.
stress.
Oh, very stressed out. Nervous. You feel nervous. Okay. What about you, three of you at the back? What about you? School. Okay. 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 What about you?
Mine or hers?
Yeah. So what have you agreed?
Hunger and exam.
Huh?
Hunger and exam.
Okay. Okay.
Also lack of sleep.
Oh, lack of sleep. Exactly. That makes you tired. And what about you? Exam.
Check giving lots of works, homework.
Lots of homework.
Check giving lots of
That pressure from work, from school work.
parents.
Pressure from parents also.
Family problems too.
Family problems also. When there is disagreement and quarrel.
When our parents don't understand us.
Yeah, exactly. When your parents don't understand, you feel stressed out. Do you think when they feel that you don't understand them, do you think they also feel some stress?
Yes, they will also feel, so we have to understand them.
Okay, it's both way. Thank you. Hello, what are the sources of your stress?
Probably parent pressure
Parents' pressure,
and projects.
Project they have deadline.
Yeah. Or procrastination.
Procrastination. Exactly, I agree with you. Yeah. Anything makes you stress?
Yes.
Stress. What?
Schoolwork.
School. Okay. Hello, what about you? You haven't got anything. What makes you stressed out? Huh? Huh?
We'll have to write it down.
Okay. Hello, boys. What makes you stressed out?
Yes.
Exams.
Maybe presenting in front of the whole school.
Pardon?
Like presentations.
Presentation in the school, yes, in front of people.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel nervous. You too?
Yes.
Yeah.
You okay?
Okay. So yeah. Remind me the time, okay? Please remind me the time. Remind me the schedule. Can I meditate with them?
Yes.
Can you check?
Yes, you can meditate. we have a flexible schedule, so
One lecture be like
And for how long?
Q&A discussion.
discussion, but you can meditate if you wish.
I want them to visualize stress. Okay, we do this.
It's okay.
Okay. Hello, can I have your attention? Now we are discussing about stress and anxiety, and we are learning how to use mindfulness to cope with that. Mindfulness, as you can see here, is awareness. It says awareness of something, it means awareness of stress, awareness of anxiety. When you're about to go onto the stage to do some presentation, obviously you may feel nervous. Mindfulness means to be aware of that nervousness, to be aware that your mind is quite restless, under pressure, like that. What you have to do that is to breathe in and out and recognize that pressure. Okay, there is pressure. Okay, this is pressure. Breathing in and out. If you breathe in and out, it changes your brain. It changes your focus. The last one, connect with your senses. So this is to connect with your stress. So in this meditation, in this exercise, we are going to be doing for 3 minutes. First, I want you to visualize, to revisit when you feel stressed. If you are stressed out, about your exam, then visualize your exam. If you are stressed out from parents' pressure, because your parents, pushes you to work harder and then to get a better grade, then imagine, you are talking to your parents, trying to connect with your own anxiety. Then you need to connect with your parents' anxiety. They also have anxiety. It's not one way, it's two-way. It's two-way. If you are anxious about a project, then first think about your project and then think about your stress. That's the first one. The second one, you need to think about someone in your class who is also doing a project and who might also be experiencing stress. This is what we say connection. This is what we say connection. I might ask you how you do this. So we're going to do this together. We're going to do this meditation just 3 minutes. We breathe in and out. Of course, we are going to close our eyes, sit upright, and start breathing in and out, slowly and gently. And now think about the source of your stress, the sources of your stress. Is it exam? Then think about exam. Think about you sitting the exam in your school. There is a deadline, and you have to answer the questions. Just reconnect with your own stress. That's the stress. What about stress at home? when you talk to your parents or when your parents talk to you about your school. Visualize your parents talking to you. Recognize your own stress. When you're being told that you should work harder for a better grade. On their part, your parents, they maybe be worried about you, about your future, therefore about your grade. So think about their anxiety and stress as well. We don't have to blame our parents. Instead, we're trying to connect with their stress and anxiety. In your mind now, tell your mom, tell your dad, Mom, I understand you. I understand you have anxiety about my school. Dad, I know you. You're worried about my grade. And tell them you also have your own anxiety about your school. You recognize your anxiety and you recognize their anxiety. You feel your own anxiety with compassion, with mindfulness and compassion. And you feel your parents' anxiety. You notice them, you recognize them, and with compassion. Now choose one person from your class, from your classmates, who has anxiety just like you, because they also have the same exam. Their parents also worry about their grade. Usually you wouldn't notice that your friends experience the same stress and anxiety. Now move on to your teacher. One of your teachers. The teachers also have anxiety, preparing your lessons, making sure that every student can catch up and do well in the exam. Just visualize one of your teachers' face. Your teachers may be smiling but they experience the same anxiety. They don't want to fail. And they don't want to lose their job. They don't want the school to be lagging behind. So they too have worry and anxiety. Now come back to your breathing. Just pay attention to your breathing. Breathing in, count 1 to 5. And hold your breath, count 1 to 5. Breathe out, 5 to 1. Once again, breathing in, hold your breath. Breathing out. Once again, breathing in. Hold your breath. Breathing out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you. Shall we watch a video? Shall we watch a video?
I will watch a video.
Yeah, it's a cute. Okay. We can do a short Q&A now. Short Q&A. Have you got a wireless microphone? If you can walk the middle. If any of you has any question, please ask me. About mindfulness and stress. Today what I want you to learn is how to use mindfulness to cope with your stress. Can just raise your hand and ask for.
Any questions for them? It's a really good time to ask them any questions you have about mindfulness or compassion or connection.
Or stress.
Stress.
Yeah. Exam stress, something like that.
You just don't want to know how to get rid of the exam stress?
This is the questions to ask now. After that, maybe you can ask anyone.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Do you have any advice you can give us on starting school? So for example, on the first day of school, we're very nervous, and later on in that trimester or semester, we'll have exams. So do you have any advice on how we can start off the year?
Thank you. This is a very good question. I think exam is the end of the process. I want to start from the beginning of the process. That's going to school and also revision. Going to school, everything has to be on time. There's times, there's a schedule. With that one, sometimes we don't manage our time properly. That is why we get stressed out. So number one is to practice time management. It's useful for all your life. Number one, time management. And number two, to expect stress, to expect it. People who don't have mindfulness, who don't have awareness, when they face with stress, as if they are being kind of ambushed because they don't expect this. When you get ambushed, what do? You get panic. You get panicking. In a panicky situation, we don't make a good decision. So the best way is to actually expect, to familiarize, we say to normalize the situation. Okay, now another one is revision. Revision. You have to revise before exam. You have to revise. When you revise, you have a few different topics. Some of them you know better than the others. My advice to you is to give maybe 2 or 3 minutes revising what you already know and know it very well. Usually what you do is that you go straight to the one you have worry about, the one you don't know well. If you do that, you are actually starting with fear, with anxiety. So I want you to reassure yourself first. Give yourself 2 or 3 minutes. How do you do that? How do you reassure yourself? By looking at the topic, the lesson you already know very well. If you do that, you're informing yourself, oh, I know this one. You feel good. You feel kind of secure. And look at another one, the one you already know. Usually people don't want to spend time on something they already know. I think psychologically this is a mistake. They should start with something they already know. Give that maybe 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. You build on something you know. Some people, they just ignore something they already know. They go straight to something they worry about. That escalates their worry. Do you get my point? Okay. Now in the exam, before you start reading the question, give yourself maybe half a minute. This is about 30 seconds. Breathe in, take deep and slow breath, like we breathe here. Maybe breathing in and out, maybe about 3 times, maybe 4 times. You are changing your brain default from worry brain that's at the back to the frontal, we call prefrontal brain, prefrontal cortex. If you breathe 3 or 4 times, you change your brain. So you handle the stress better. You handle anxiety better. You remember? Okay.
Some of our parents, they don't support our dreams. So how can we convince them to trust fully into us?
This is a big question. You can sit down. They have grown up in a different age. During their time, a certain dream, a certain profession wouldn't pay. It wouldn't pay well. You wouldn't earn. You wouldn't be able to live on that. This day we have more choices. This is one thing. Another thing you need to understand them is that during the time they grew up, they couldn't take risk because the choices were very small. So if you understand them like this, you will be able to convince them. You will not be able to convince them straight away, but if you talk with calmness, not blaming them doesn't help. If you blame them, you're triggering their stress. If they are under stress, they will never agree with you. What you have to do, you have to help them to calm down. Remember this metaphor. We have two wolves in our mind, two wolves, black and white. You can draw these two wolves, black and white. Anytime, okay, you trigger the stress of your parents, you're fitting that black wolf. They will never agree with you. They will never understand your dream. What you have to do, you have to feed the white wolf. White wolf is calmness, is confidence, is safeness. So, if they want to tell you something, okay, your dream wouldn't work, then you try to calm them down and then you ask them, why you think it doesn't work, it will not work. If you start a conversation like this, you will win them over. Remember which wolf you have to feed. White wolf. In your mind also, you have two wolves. When your parents don't agree with your dream, what you have to do is not to feed your black wolf. The black wolf is about increasing anxiety. That if you keep feeding your white wolf, and then you can help, okay, your parents to feed their white wolf. The two will come together. There will be a meeting point. Can you stand?
If our parents don't agree with our dreams, shall we continue our dreams or just listen to them?
If you're passionate enough about your dream, I think you should hold on to your dream. It may take time to realize our dream. Someone, who created this light, the bulb, Thomas Edison. He had a dream to create this, and how many times he had to persevere to work on this? 10,000 times. One time he failed, he didn't give up. 10 times he still failed, he wouldn't give up. Thomas Edison. 1,000 times he still wouldn't give up. That is why he is helping us today with all this. Otherwise, we can't do anything in this room. We need that kind of passion. People who get to the top because they have passion. But your dream, you have to think about your parents also. You have to dream about other people. Sometimes when we talk about our dream, we are so self-centered. Remember this word, self-centered. We are so self-centered. We are so full of ourselves. If I have a dream to become one of the best writers, I should, connect my dream with serving the whole community. I should connect with the whole community. If I connect with the whole community, I will succeed. That's about service. It's about service-minded. Okay. If you want to become famous, you want to become a singer because you want to become famous, and you don't think about using your arts, to serve the people, you're full of yourself. But if you think, I want to serve the people, I want to educate them so that they understand stress, I'm going to write a song about stress, about environment, about compassion. Then, you see, your compassion is for the many. How much do you have time? Okay.
So what are we supposed to do if our parents always compare our grades with others and always blame us for getting lower marks or less grades than them?
Thank you. Very good question. Who have the same experience? Can you? Oh, all of you. Thank you. I spent the whole evening yesterday somewhere else talking about the disadvantage of competing with other people. In Denmark, in one of the tiny European countries, they don't compete in the school. They don't say who comes first, who comes second, who comes third. Instead, they ask you to discuss about problem, to develop what they say empathy. When your mind develops empathy, your brain becomes smarter because you think about other people. But when you compare yourself with other people, you actually look at other people as competitive. You are increasing your own stress, something that you can do without. You see? So if your parents are doing like that, you need to feel their pain. You need to feel their pain first. Okay? If you blame them, they will only become defensive. Defensive? I've just told her, you're feeding which wolf? Black wolf. Black wolf. Actually, they want to motivate you. That's why they compare with other people. That's the question. There's something behind that thought, motivation. If you show enough motivation, you tell them, Mom, Dad, I have enough motivation to work, to work harder. So don't compare myself with other people. Bill Gates. Yeah. Bill Gates. He said he never compared himself with other people because that would mean he would be degrading himself. If you compare yourself with others, you end up only with one or two results. One is you feel superior when you do better. When you do not that well, you feel inferior. This is the results of comparing. So, in the next session with compassion, I'm going to be talking about this motivation. So I haven't answered all your questions, just half, okay?
Due to time constraints, only one question.
You can do both. I can take both, but quickly.
You can go first. No, you go first.
If someone were to deal with anxiety of talking to teachers or classmates when they're in need, how do they take care of it or deal with it?
Which person? The person who has anxiety.
Excuse me.
Which person? How you ask how to deal with that? Which one? They who are.
The person who has the anxiety.
Who have anxiety? Yes. It's like this. When we have anxiety, we think we are the only one with anxiety. We never thought that other people have the same. You see, when she asks a question, I ask you to raise if you experience the same thing. You all do. That's what we need to remember. Earlier, what I asked you to do, I asked you to relate to the stress of other people, the stress of your parent, the stress of your teacher, your classmate. If you do that, you can really get stronger. Why people get anxiety? Because they isolate themselves. I'm the only one with this, they don't have this, that kind of mentality. And the brain changes at that time. Okay? Yes.
Do you have any advice on trying to accept yourself? Because parents they compare us to other people. Yes, but how do we accept ourselves?
How do we accept?
Yeah.
We have a system in this country which pressurizes us to compete and compare ourselves with other people. That's the system. You are ranked 1, 2, 3, something like that, and you're given all sorts of prizes. I mentioned Denmark earlier. They don't have homework. For the start, they don't have homework, and they don't compete with each other. But they do very well in the school. Not only that, the United Nations has what they call happiness index. They come, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 for the last 40 years. They're among the happiest people. So we need to replace this mindset. Earlier I used the word default. We need to replace this competition default and replace it with compassion. I'm going to be talking about compassion soon. Why we compete? That's to create motivation. So if we know how to motivate ourselves without competing, then we can drop competition and still do well. Okay. It's a video now. Yeah, thank you. Now we move to compassion, okay? Compassion is based on mindfulness.
My friend told me he often went to the same little corner grocery store in his neighborhood. One day, he realized that though it was usually the same woman working there each time, he hardly ever noticed much about her. He felt shocked at himself and thought, for all I really pay attention to her, she might as well be a cash register with arms. So he went into the store, determined to actually pay full attention to her. The first thing he noticed was that she was singing along to something playing on the radio, and that she had a really beautiful voice. When he said that to her, she responded with a wide, radiant smile. As soon as he told me that story, I realized that I too often went into the same store and also had hardly noticed that woman, except for maybe a vague sense that perhaps she was a little grim. I made a plan. I'm going to go into the store, say to her, I heard you have a really beautiful voice. I want you to get really happy and give me a beautiful smile. But when I went into the store, actually paying full attention to her, the first thing I noticed was that she was already smiling broadly. Wait, what happened to a little bit grim? I realized again how much of a person we miss when we don't pay attention. People are people, not pieces of furniture. We each have a life, a story, changing moods, joys, sorrows. And if we pay attention to one another, we recognize that, and our lives are enriched by a continuing sense of discovery. That's the opening to true compassion. Sometimes we think of compassion as a gift, which we've either gotten or we haven't. If we haven't, we're out of luck. But we think of compassion as some kind of emotional reaction that spontaneously erupts out of us. I think of compassion as a natural result that comes from actually paying attention. That means we can continue to cultivate it.
This is paying attention and recognizing the person in the store. So, if you recognize, if you pay attention to your parents' anxiety and recognize them, you don't have to make a decision for now. You don't really need to. Don't make a decision. Okay, can you talk to your parent? Okay, I have this dream, but we don't really need to make this decision now, whether I will do it or not. But first is I want to connect with your anxiety and I want you to connect with my anxiety. If you can start this conversation, this will be a compassionate conversation between you and your parents. Do you get my point? Do you get my... You asked me earlier, do you get my point? Acknowledgement. Sometimes when we don't agree, we just kind of brush aside whatever they say. There's a kind of auto-rejection. That auto-rejection may be in our parents too. So if we recognize this, we can actually change the situation. That auto-rejection, if you just write down this one, auto-rejection. This auto-rejection, we need to replace it with attention and recognition. Recognition of our own anxiety, recognition of their anxiety. This is what we say EQ, emotional quotient, instead of IQ. You will be trying to argue with your parents. I want to do this, my dream, this is good, it's going to do me good, it's going to do you good. This is an EQ argument. What I'm teaching you now is about, that was about IQ argument. What I'm teaching you now is about EQ, emotional quotient. EQ. Can you bring that whiteboard here? I want to write down that whiteboard. Just see. Maybe. Where shall we put it? Is it here? It's okay, I think. I don't know if they can see. Maybe a little bit back.
If you would like to write it on the iPad, connected to the phone.
Okay, that's better. If you can. We'll be writing on iPads soon, okay? We have IQ and we have EQ. IQ, intelligent quotient. EQ is emotional quotient. This is about understanding your emotion. This is about understanding the subject you study in the school, IQ. So I'm talking about using EQ approach to talk to your parents, and you will solve a lot of tension. This one. The color maybe we use this one. IQ is the subject you study in the school. Then we have EQ. EQ, this one is mindfulness. Mindfulness, the other is compassion. Compassion. Earlier, what we... maybe you can remove this. Earlier, what we... the video that we looked at is about raising your EQ level. To notice the lady in the store. To notice her, and to notice her anxiety, to also notice her smile. Okay? Earlier I was talking about motivation. Now shall we talk about motivation and compassion? Motivation and compassion. When your parents compare you with other people, that's because they want to motivate you. Not necessarily because they want to put pressure on you. Okay? They want to motivate you so that you work harder and you succeed. You succeed and you go into a good university. Okay? You get into a good university. And when you get into a good university, when you come out of a good university, you do better in life. That's generally how things are. In England, okay, the university I come from, Oxford University, all the graduates within 6 months, they all get a job, good job, within 6 months. But other university, sometimes it takes more than a year and people are still looking for a job. You can see the difference between going to a good university and an average university. So that's what your parents are thinking about. So they want to motivate you, they want you to do your best. So here, that motivation, can we, thank you. That motivation, we can find source of motivation from something else. You are grade 7, grade 8, and grade 9. Okay, these are all, the grown up ones. And very soon you will be reaching the level of your peers who are volunteers here, grade 10, 11, and 12. So where do you find motivation? Today I suggest, from Buddhist compassion, I suggest you to think differently. I suggest that you think about the problem in the society, in this country. Okay, you think about the problem. And what you are doing, how that can help. Let's talk about the problem that we face in the society. Can you help me in the what kind of problem they would know, you would know? What kind of problem? The problem of the country that you are aware is an environmental problem. That's one thing. Can you kind of help me? Okay. Can you give the microphone to them? What kind of problem that we have, either in this country or in the world? Australia Wi-Fi. Okay. I'm going to write here. Okay. Yes.
So from what I researched, the biggest problem in Myanmar is education. Children are not educated.
Okay, that's education. Education for kids. Okay. Thank you. This is really good stuff. Another one.
Poverty.
Pardon?
Poverty.
Poverty. This is a huge problem. Another one.
Social isolation.
Social isolation. Social isolation. Thank you. Another one.
Equality.
equality. We never seem to get there. It's a huge headache.
Child labor.
Child labor.
Global warming.
Global warming.
Hospitals and it's not enough.
Can you repeat again to me?
The healthcare in Myanmar.
Yeah. That's healthcare. Thank you.
Sexism, like women are.
Sexism. Yes.
Pollution.
War. Sorry, I missed the other one.
Pollution.
Pollution.
Racism.
Racism. Racism. Racism.
Global warming.
Global warming, we got that already. And also this side, this is microphone, please. Okay.
Hunger and shelter. Hunger and shelter.
Hunger and shelter.
Pride. We have too much pride.
Pride.
Traffic jams.
Traffic jam. Okay.
Homelessness.
Homelessness.
Deforestation.
Deforestation. Yes. Animal extinction. Animal extinction.
Depression.
Okay, I think we got the big picture. Okay, look at here the problem. Lack of education for the kids, poverty, social isolation. Sorry if you can't read my handwriting. Equality, child labor, global warming. I think related to pollution. Then healthcare, I think related to poverty. Sexism, related to education. War, okay. We have the longest civil war in the world. Will you be surprised to know that our country has the longest civil war? Loneliness, okay. Pollution, racism, hunger and shelter, pride, traffic jam. What have I written here? This one. Homelessness, deforestation, animal extinction, and loneliness. Loneliness is a psychological problem. Okay, good, very good, thank you. What I want you to do is to think about what you can do about this problem. Just choose one problem. Choose one problem and think about what you can do. Okay, what you can do. Especially link the solution that you have in mind to the subject that you're studying. Okay. For example, if you do your maths, okay, your mathematics, which problem is related, which problem you're going to be solving? In order to improve healthcare, do you need to have good, knowledge of maths? I think you need to. Pollution, do you need to know maths very well? Mathematics. You do. Otherwise, how can you do statistics? You see, the reading is mathematics. The calculation is mathematics. That is called in mathematics. There is a branch. It's called statistics. That's another theory. So we need all these things. Racism. From the subject that you study, which subject is related to? Civic. Okay, civic duty. I think also if you study psychology, if you study sociology, what about traffic jam? What about this problem that you face every day? You need to manage the traffic. You need to manage. Why? Yes. Pardon? Management. Management is one thing. Sometimes because we don't have big enough roads, that's why we get traffic. And for that, what do we have to do? Architecture. In order to have a good architecture, what do we need? We need money. So that's about poverty. We need to solve poverty. Okay? If you all work hard, if you all graduate, if you all work hard, you earn well, you pay taxes, and the government is going to use those taxes to solve traffic jam. But sometimes it's not because of that. It's because of silly drivers. The drivers, they don't follow traffic rules. And what do you have to do about that? You have to educate them. You have to educate them. So it comes from education. So before we do meditation, I'm going to ask you to pair again, okay, two people, and to just discuss one problem. You choose one problem, two people choose one problem, and discuss how you can, you can solve this problem. To brainstorm it. Okay, we take 5 minutes. Can you kind of supervise? Can you kind of supervise the volunteers everywhere? Okay, can you supervise? Two people or three people. You just choose one of those problems, the problem that you're interested in, and discuss about solution. Okay, using that to motivate yourself. You can move back a little bit so that you can look at each other, you can face each other. You can join them. You can join this way. You can move back a little bit. You can move ahead. You can move ahead so that she can join. Okay. How many of you? Okay. Then you move back a little bit. You move back a little bit. You form a group. You move back a little bit. You two. You face them. You face this side. Move back a little bit. You just to help them, just to ensure that they are into the discussion.
Yes, sir.
and they choose one of those programs.
These kids chose traffic jam.
Traffic jam.
About like automatic cars and automated cars. ရှင်ပြကျွန်တော်မှတ်မိလားမသိဘူး။ပြီးတော့ရှင်ပြကြီးအင်းလုံးဟိုကြောင်းတိုက်တော့အဖေနဲ့တူ။အော်ခုနအောင်မျိုးပဲသား။အော်โอเคအဖေပဲမှာတော့ခုကျင်းကုန်ပါပဲ။ကျင်းကုန်ပါပဲနော်။အော်โอเค။ခုဒီနေ့ကြောင်းဟို12တန်းရောက်ပါပြီ။12တန်းရောက်ပြီလား။ဒီမှာပဲသွားမှာတော့ပဲ uni သွားမှာတော့ Cardiff University. Cardiff. I have been there. Studying medicine. Yes. I know some Burmese who graduated from there, okay, with medicine. And our meditation center is very close to Cardiff Medical School. Dan am blue coro. Okay. Just to make sure that they choose a topic and go into the discussion, because we want to use that to motivate them. My point is that if they can motivate themselves this way, they don't really need to compete, because we find a different source for motivation. Somebody is what problem you choose?
Child labor.
Okay, very good, very important. What problem you choose?
Education.
Oh, very good. I'm educationist. What problem you choose?
Poverty and education for kids.
Oh, very good.
Like a certain amount of resources.
What have you chosen? Deforestation. Okay. What topic have you chosen?
Yeah, we have chosen for kids.
Oh, okay. Good, thank you.
I raised a Dhamma now.
What topic have you chosen?
I chose equality.
Huh? Equality, very good, very important. What topic have you chosen?
Depression.
Huh? Depression, very good. Actually, very important one.
It's everything on the list.
Yeah. Hello. What topic have you chosen?
Child abuse.
Child abuse. Very good. Okay. What have you chosen? Education. Hello. What topic have you chosen?
Racism.
Racism.
Yeah.
Good. Very good. Hello. What you're discussing about?
Global warming.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay, we have 2 more minutes. Okay, 2 more minutes. We have break.
We have a break in this.
Is it at 2? What time do we have break?
Break? Let me check the schedule.
It's here. What time is the break?
I think it's 2:15.
2:15.
Hold on.
2 to 2:15?
No.
What is the instruction?
Instruction? Preparation about it.
Here is break.
Break. Okay. 2分鐘2秒。တနား40ပဲရှိတယ်။
တနား45ပေါ့
Oh, 1:45.
1:45.
2 is break.
2 is break.
1:45 to 2 is break.
Okay. Hello. Can I have your attention, please? Thank you. That has been great to identify some problem and then to go into some of those. Now I want you to relate those problems to suffering of the people. When you say global warming, how people are suffering. When you talk about lack of education for children, then how children are suffering. And when we talk about racism, then how people are suffering from racism. War, deforestation, depression. I want you to think about how people are suffering. Okay. Then, when you can think about suffering, you can develop empathy. From empathy, we go to compassion. Empathy is about feeling the pain of those people who are suffering. One of the groups, has picked up the topic which is not even listed here, like child abuse, very important one. Depression, also very important one. Then what you need to do then is to feel the pain of those people. That's called empathy. Empathy is about feeling that pain. Okay? Note this down. Empathy is about feeling other people's pain. Note down this point. Empathy is about feeling the pain of others. Feeling the pain of others. But this is not enough. We live in an air-conditioned room like this. We live a comfortable life. We all go to school in a nice car. So just to feel that pain is not enough. What do we need? We need action. What kind of action we have in mind? See? So with empathy plus action is compassion. Can you write down this one? Empathy, plus action is compassion. Empathy is to feel the pain of other people. Okay. So later I will be doing this meditation with you when we come back. Okay? Now I think it's time for break.
Guys, we'll have a 15 minutes.